Module is the value of life. Our driving question is, do we accept death as an inevitability, or is it something that really can't be prevented? Death means the end of someone's life. We all die because of physical causes and emotional causes. More than 50,000 people on this planet die every single day, but scientists are discovering how some organisms live almost forever to be immortal. For now, we can't prevent death. Why do we die? Cells that had faithfully renewed themselves begin to fail. Brain shrink, spines curve, eyes begin to fail. Hearing goes, organs become cancerous, bones begin to crumble, and memory perishes. Cancer, smoking, our cells die, damage from exposure to ultraviolet light, and free radicals age cells. Obesity, diseases such as heart diseases, suicide, and diabetes. Commit suicide, but why? They're depressed, they're psychotic, drugs and alcohol, they have made a mistake, they have a philosophical desire to die, they're crying out for help and don't know how to get help. Another thing that causes us to die is cancer because of genetics, tobacco, diet and physical activity, sun and UV exposure, radiation exposure. There are two types of diabetes that causes death. Type 1 of diabetes is the lack of insulin due to the destruction of insulin producing beta cells in the pancreas. It occurs in children and young adults. Type 2 diabetes is caused by a combination of factors, including insulin resistance, and is the condition in which the body's muscle, fat, and liver cells do not use insulin effectively. Also is common in overweight and obese children and adolescents.
Stem cells are a type of cell found throughout the body of all human beings. They can reproduce themselves over a long period of time without changing. They also have the capability to produce other types of specialized cells: bone marrow, fat cells, umbilical cord blood, blood cells, olfactory nerve ending, skin cells, human embryo. The reason the reason we die is because our bodies get old and weak. Then our cells become unable to reproduce more cells. Each day, billions of cells in your body die and reproduce new ones. Without being able to reproduce anymore, you die. Scientists believe stem cells might be the key to immortality. 5 ways to be immortal. Technologies that can replace vital organs. We will be able to replace bad organs in our body with new ones. If your lung or heart fails, you'll be able to go to the doctor and order a new one. Scientist Ray Kurzweil says these new technologies arriving in 20 years will be able to cure and reprogram our bodies. Neural implants, little chips that stimulate the brain to recover from strokes or any other head trauma, may also be able to prevent some diseases and depression. As technology advances, it will eventually provide a pathway from your brain to computers, allowing you to control machines with your brain. Your brain will never wear out and any damage to it will automatically be fixed. Nanobots that replace blood cells, supplements for natural blood cells that will be more advanced and helpful. They will provide more oxygen in your body and healing and repair to be nearly instant and guarantees blood cells will never die, allowing us to never age. Cyborg technology, replacing damaged body parts with biological or mechanical copies that are way better than the original. These will provide the superhuman abilities such as super strength and regeneration. And finally, cryonics, preserving your body until medical technologies discover a way to heal you. About 200 people have already did this since 1962. Scientists have already discovered ways to bring some of these people back to life, but the only problem is that they have not been able to discover a way to bring them back to life without the thing that killed them originally killing them again. Now there are a couple cons for these things. Stem cells can replace cells, but if cells are too old and your body is too far along in the dying process, they won't be able to adapt and reproduce fast enough to save you. Those 5 studies that are supposed to help you live forever are all pretty much legit. Although a couple of them have not been actually discovered, scientists believe in about 20 years they will all be available. So if you're around by then, you might be in luck.
A short video by SciShow will be played about the question why we age and how can we stop it.
You and I are just collections of cells, albeit magnificent and really complicated collections that exist as animated blobs for a while, hopefully long enough to reproduce. And when it gets too tough for our cells to keep these masses of cells together, we die. But another thing that's keeping us from playing basketball until we're 500 is our genes. Here, research into extending longevity has focused on a little nematode called C. elegans. These little worms are really good test subjects because their lifespan's only about 14 days and they only have about 20,000 genes, so scientists have been able to pinpoint the genes that are most likely in charge of aging. In 1993, Cynthia Kenyon, a biologist at the University of California in San Francisco, found that there was just one gene that was making these worms age. It's called DAF2, and when she messed around with that gene, basically mutated it so that it didn't work, her worms started to live 28 days instead of just 14. Twice as long! If they did that for us, we would live to be like 160. And not only that, the worms were like spunky and vivacious all the way until they croaked. Kenyon also found another gene called DAF16 that has the opposite role. It keeps the worms young and healthy by regulating the production of antioxidants, germ-fighting proteins, and other things that fight off pathogens and the effects of stress. 'Cause, you know, being a worm, stressful. So what Kenyon found is that the aging gene worked by restricting the effects of the longevity gene. And when you damage the DAF2, DAF16 just keeps on doing its business, keeping the worms young. Now, that's all well and good for the worms. I'm glad that they're having nice, long, healthy lives, but I'm not really too concerned about them. What about us? Well, in mammals, scientists have indeed found two counterparts to that nematode aging gene, and in humans, a lot of research has focused on one gene in particular that creates a growth hormone called IGF-1. When scientists silence this gene in mice, there is less cell and organ damage caused by oxidation. Organs seem to be less susceptible to cancer and other age-related illnesses, extending the mice's lifespan by up to 33%.